Oh. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize that I'm a bit late, but I had to rush to get here. How's everyone doing? I am super excited for the Qatar GP. I'm super excited for F1 Fantasy. I'm excited for the stream. I'm excited for the extra DRS, the 3X, the triple DRS, whatever you want to call it. It's time. How's everyone doing? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. I'm gonna pin that so we are ready to go. Let's see. Twitch, Kalendori, Starburst, Rye, welcome. Cool shirt, what's the print? It's just a bunch of random math stuff. That's what we're rocking today. Ironically, more knackered than last week when it was 2 a.m. That's impressive, honestly. I don't know how you managed that. Alright, so I'm excited and scared for 3x. Same, dude. Everything could happen today. Batter says, Rain, you saved my season last week. You recommended Verstappen over Norris for 2x. Only dropped to 15th. Need to do something different this week to get ahead of the 3x usage this week. You're welcome. No, I'm not going to take credit for that. Like, obviously, it was a massive swing with the McLaren double disqualification. I could not have predicted that, but I did think Max was good last week. So, if you haven't seen what I tweeted about after the sprint qualifying yesterday, I'm not going McLaren-less. I have essentially 3 different team options or 3 different team structures, and I'll just like quickly show them off at the start of the stream. I'm gonna get into each of them, like pros and cons with each of them as we get into the actual stream. But just to show off, to start off what we're actually like doing today, one thing that I considered earlier in the week, if you saw my team selection video, was essentially this: if McLaren looked bad, but McLaren don't look bad, right? Here you go. Bada bam, bada bing, bada boom. Get Kimi Antonelli in there, do the 3x and Verstappen, Russell, McLaren less. McLaren look pretty good, right? I always expected them to be good, but good. I always expected them to be good in Qatar, because it's like their home race or whatever. And also just because how the track's laid out, it suits what McLaren has been good at so far this season. But the double disqualification and the plank wear stuff made me worried that maybe, you know, McLaren were not going to look that good or whatever. So this was one option. I'm not going with this. This is not happening. McLaren looked too good for this. The 2 options that we're left with, my hair is not cooperating today. Let me just like pin it back with the, there we go. The 2 options that we're left with is the Norris Verstappen or Norris Piastri lineup. And I have, honest to God, not decided yet what I'm doing. I think there is a higher risk with going Norris and Piastri, because I'm obviously putting everything on the McLaren card. But I do think there's a higher ceiling. Like, there's a higher upside to going both Norris and Piastri. Now, granted, Verstappen can obviously show up with an incredible performance to get 60 points again. But McLaren just look on it, okay? So, how that would look, the double McLaren version, because I hadn't really considered it until Piastri took the pole and sprint qualifying yesterday, is essentially I have to sell both my premium drivers and just sell Oliver Behrman. I have to keep Sainz in this team. And then with this team, I pick essentially any driver from 7.3 million and below. and the most valuable or the most expensive option I can afford is Esteban Ocon, which I don't think is a bad option at all. But of course, this could just be Fernando Alonso, and I leave 2.8 million in the bank if we want Alonso's from P4, right? So this is one option, right? I don't think I'm doing Piastri Verstappen. I think it's either Norris Verstappen or Norris Piastri, by the way. Because obviously this could be this. This could still not be Oliver Behrman, so like this doesn't really change anything. And if I'm going for Piastri, I think I want Norris this week, because although Piastri out-qualified Norris in the sprint, I think Norris is going to out-qualify Piastri in the race. I think Norris is still my favorite to win the race tomorrow. Not afraid of the disqualification. Of course, I'm like, it's in the back of my mind, but I don't think McLaren will risk it. Who would you 2x on a Limitless today? I think Norris. I think I'm 3xing Norris today. No matter which team I end up going with, I think it's just whether if I have Piastri or Verstappen on the 2x. That's my question today. I think I'm putting the 3x on Norris. So, obviously, again, with this Norris-Piastri team, I can afford any driver instead of Oliver Behrman from Ocon down. And it could be anyone. I'm forced to keep Hadjar and Sainz if I don't want to take hits for it, which I wouldn't do. I get it. That would be a hit just to change one of my cheap assets. I'm not doing that. So that is option one, right? And again, this slot could be anyone. We would have to discuss that later to see which cheap driver that would actually be. Is it still Alonso from P4? Is it Colapinto from P20? I think there's an argument to be made for him as well. With that, we can go to the other team, which is Norris plus Verstappen. Obviously, with Norris plus Verstappen, we have to make an additional transfer to sell Carlos Sainz. And in this case, we have 5.5 million, and we're picking either Liam Lawson or Franco Colapinto. Colapinto from P20 looks enticing, but I think that's the nicest thing I can say about Franco Colapinto today. Would you rather have 3x Piastri, 2x Verstappen, or 3x Piastri, 2x Norris, but with a minus 10? 3x Piastri, 2x Verstappen. I think the minus 10, the minus 10 is so difficult to call this weekend. If you really think, like really believe... Okay, again, I think if you're taking a minus 10 to change Verstappen to Norris, I think you put the 3x on Norris. Do you believe in Yuki this weekend? Yes and no. It's a really good question because it's really hard to call with Yuki. He obviously has some pace in that car, but Yuki Tsunoda going P5 to P5 in both races, right, is like a 25 pointer, maybe 35 if he picks up driver of the day. This is a big one, yes. As Jazz said, we expecting Norris driver of the day if he wins and wins World Drivers' Championship. I think so, but it obviously depends. Like if he starts on pole and just ends, like finishes the race in P1, I think no. Verstappen Russell safest? No, I think McLaren is safer than Verstappen Russell. I think Verstappen Russell is risky today. And that's like Russell starting P2. Ideal lineup for Limitless. Limitless lineup is like super easy today. It's Norris, Piastri, Verstappen, Russell +1. And then it's McLaren, Mercedes. Damn, Rain, I wanted to go to Abu Dhabi, please. I'm not the one who decides that. Lando pretty hated by fans at the moment. Yeah, Piastri, if he wins, can get driver of the day. But, like, Piastri's starting from pole in the sprint. I'm still expecting, like, Norris to do well. And, like quickly, about the sprint, right? If Norris overtakes Russell in the sprint and finishes P2, and then Piastri wins the sprint, then they finish the sprint on the same points. Which I think is what will happen. I think Piastri will P1, Norris will P2 in the sprint. Alright, so with all of that, to start off this stream, we have a lot of things to think about, a lot of stats to look at. What am I doing? There we go. So, for that reason, let's do F1 Predict while we wait for some people to get in here. I'm chasing 100 points in my mini league. Would you go for Verstappen plus Russell? It completely depends on what they're picking. It's the real question. Like that's the actual thing. Sims? Yeah, we'll look at Sims. Did Sims just drop actually? Who do you want to win the championship? Oof. I don't actually know who I want to win the championship. That's actually a good question. I think I want Lando to win, even though I'm not like a Lando fan, because I think it's very harsh that he loses the championship if he does, because like something would have to happen for Lando to lose the championship from this point. If he keeps performing the way that he's performed this second half of the season is World Drivers' Championship worthy. And I'm not saying like he has been perfect. He hasn't. I think it's very difficult for someone to be perfect. But I think Piastri has arguably made more errors than Lando Norris this season. They're just not talked about as much. I think if Verstappen wins, it would be probably one, like, that comeback would never again be replicated in in Formula 1 history. So I guess in like some way I want Verstappen to win it. But from a fairness standpoint, I think Norris should win it. Max is the real champ. Like, the fact that Max is even making it exciting is incredible. And we're like talking about Max Verstappen as this big chaser when he's equal to Piastri. How Piastri managed to lose it from here is like that. It needs to be studied. But I do think Lando deserves the win. I think if Lando doesn't win it from here, I think people will say like, oh, Lando doesn't deserve to win the championship. That is wrong. Like, that is just flat out wrong. Lando 100% deserves to win the championship from here, and should, like, based on, what I know, like the disqualification last time around, but what was this, like 0.1 millimeter? Is worth about $10 to buy Sainz and sell Ocon? Definitely not. Definitely not. Keep those 10 points. Alright, podium for the Grand Prix. This is not the sprint. This is the Grand Prix. My bet is Lando Norris, Piastri, Max Verstappen. How many teams will score points from the sprint? I'm going to go with 6 different teams. Actually, with what happened in the quali, 5 is more likely, yeah? Yeah, let's do 5. Who will finish ahead in the sprint? We'll do Piastri here because he's on pole. Who will take the pole position for the Grand Prix? I'm going to say Lando. Who will qualify the highest for the Grand Prix? Sainz, Albon, Hadjar, Lawson. With the amount of points you get from the V-Carb picks here, I think that is the pick here. New Sims, we'll look at the Sims as soon as I'm done with the predictions. Hadjar, Lawson. I think I'll go with Hadjar here. It's a lot of points. I'll pick Hadjar. Actually, I'll take the 25 points for Liam Lawson. How many times will the safety car or VSC be required in the Grand Prix? I'm gonna say 0 times. It's time. We haven't. It's time for no safety car, no VSC type of race. Who will finish ahead in the race? I'll go Sainz. He's in such good form right now. Which team will score more points this weekend? It's not gonna be Ferrari. I think it will be Mercedes. Who will set the fastest pit stop time of the race? We'll select Ferrari here. Will the Drivers' Championship be decided in Qatar? I'm going to say yes because I'm predicting Landa to win the race. There we go. By the way, I think I had a really good F1 predict last time around. I haven't looked at. I don't know if I'm like actually looking right. Okay, yeah. I've been cooking with these predictions, by the way. Like apart from Monaco, where I got like everything right. Oh my god, what was this? By the way, that's insane. I forgot to do the Japanese Grand Prix, but I've had 2 pretty good seasons in a row. I don't actually know. Where am I globally? Global League. I'm pretty good at this game, guys. I'm pretty good at this prediction game. I know not everyone does it, and like the amount of points between me and first is monumental, but I'm still like 401st in the world. That's not bad. That's not bad. We'll take that. We'll take that. I mean, a couple of stinkers in here for sure. What did I do in Saudi Arabia? Can I just look at this? Predict the exact position you score double. Cool. I got 40 points for this. Incorrect. What did I get so many points for? 15, 0, 0, 10 points, 10 points, 10 points. I mean, I just got multiple things correct. Sophie, what are you doing? Why are you super chatting me $100? You need to stop. Thank you for popping in, though. You need to stop. Thank you, though. I am pretty good with the predictions. What are you doing? What are you doing? Alright. So, we have new simulations that we need to look at. On F1 Fantasy Tools. F1 Fantasy Tools. There we go. Still grinding Qatar? No, I only played it like last season. Was it you that I ran into on the ladder? That was really funny. That was like the last place I was expecting to be recognized. The freaking Qatar ladder. Oh, why is my thing all wrong? There we go. Yeah, you think you won? God damn it. For 3x, Norris, Piastri, or Verstappen, Norris? That's what I'm wondering. I don't know, King's Landing. I haven't even decided yet. I think Norris, Piastri has a higher ceiling, but is riskier, obviously, because of McLaren's reasons and nerves among the drivers, stuff like that. But if it goes well, it can go really, really well for you. Verstappen, Norris, I think is safer. Alright, team calculator. Alright. What are they predicting? Or what are the suggested moves for me this weekend? They're actually saying get Tsunoda in. That's really funny. But okay, wait, hold up. I need to... okay, there we go. That's actually fun that the 3x changes here. Because without the 3x, it's saying take the punt on Tsunoda. And keep Russell. Like do Piastri Russell. But if I say I'm going to use the 3x, it changes it and says go for Piastri Norris. That's actually pretty fun. So it's valuing Piastri higher now. It's saying put the 3x on Piastri. I don't think I will do that. I think I'm gonna put the 3x on Norris. But there's a significant jump between Verstappen and Piastri and Norris here in terms of estimated points. Yeah, I was considering this, Vala, but we talked about this, and like Norris is just really unpopular at the moment. Whereas like if Piastri wins the race, I think Piastri probably gets driver of the day. Yeah, Piastri is a good shout for driver of the day if he wins tomorrow. But I last one thing, like if Norris wins the race and nothing else crazy happens, does he get driver of the day? I don't think so, unless he like started from further back. I think Norris, if he starts pole and wins the race, I don't think he gets driver of the day, even if that means he wins the championship. I think Norris wins the race tomorrow. That is my prediction. I think Norris wins the race tomorrow. I don't think that gives him driver of the day because I assume he does so from pole. Yeah. It's interesting also that the preferred cheap driver here is Alonso. By also, again, quite some margin. I can't believe that Hamilton is so low with the amount of overtakes that he could get. But I guess the Ferrari just doesn't look good at all. You'll be 2x Piastri anyway, so 10-point difference just for driver of the day. That's a good... Yeah, we don't have to stress that too much. If I just decide that I'm going with Piastri, it's like, that's good enough. You know what I mean? Yeah, maybe it's F1 Fantasy Tool swinging me towards the triple McLaren lineup. And is it Alonso then? Wait, what is the actual? I need to look. I don't remember the exact starting grid. I'm a fraud. For the sprint. By the way, I will stay live and watch the sprint. I just will be eating food at the same time because I'm hungry. But if you want to join me for the sprint watch along, you can do so. I'm probably going to do it only on Twitch though. To not stay online on YouTube for too long. Rain, Ocon, Hulk, Gas, Alonso, pick 3, please. Alonso, Ocon, Hulk. I'm just a Gasly hater. Yeah, Ocon, Hulk, Alonso. Alonso P4 probably lose 2 positions to the Red Bulls. Do you think he loses to Yuki Tsunoda? Yeah, that's the thing, like, Alonso dropping in the sprint is not fun at all, but if Alonso has the same pace in the race, that's what we're kind of looking for, right? Apologies if you already covered, but without the 3x, we're thinking Norris or Piastri for 2x. It's a big shout, whichever one you go for, and I think I wouldn't be surprised to see the top, like, split, like, 40% on Norris, 40% on Piastri, 20% on Max, or something crazy like that. Having better cheap drivers might be better with Russell and Piastri than going Norris and Piastri or Verstappen and then keeping rock bottom drivers. I agree, but I'm not doing that with my lineup. I'm still keeping Sainz and Hadjar. And Alonso is the highest driver for points according to the simulations as well. So with Piastri and Norris, I have a pretty solid lineup. With Russell, I get Tsunoda in there, but I don't want to buy Tsunoda. Yeah, Alpine's shot on this track, so meh. Yeah, Alpine don't look great. I mean, it's Colapinto from Lost, but you can never not consider someone who's starting P20. But I don't think... I'm not going to pick Colapinto over Alonso. Like, that would be ludicrous. Though, if someone wants to do it, that's a big shout, actually. Like, I respect it a ton playing the P20. Because, like, Alonso's going to drop 2 positions and get, what? Like, 3 points from the sprints? That's not a lot. Let's bring up the sprint quality results quickly, because I don't remember exactly what happened in the you know, sprint Q2. Right, we have both Williams made it Q3, right? Sainz and Albon. Hamilton freaking 18th. Both the Alpines are lost. Alonso 4th is pretty massive. Hadjar, Behrman, Bortoletto, Hulkenberg, Ocon. Sainz or Hadjar? Sainz. He definitely could. Like, going against Max Verstappen is always terrifying and could definitely backfire. Gabby a good shout this weekend. He's loving this track. I think it's like someone like Gabby Bortoletto is a massive differential this week. Not a lot of people are gonna have him still. We definitely should bring that the elite delta up on F1 Fantasy Tools, just so we can flick through that. Okay, so elite data is heavily skewed right now, and I think that's important to note. So the reason why it says Max Verstappen picked by 88% of people is because the 50% of people that had Norris dropped out of the top 500 from last week. So this data is heavily skewed towards Max Verstappen and away from McLaren. Again, this is also crazy because this was at like 98% or like 95%, but everyone who sold McLaren to Red Bull had an incredible weekend and shot up into the global 500. So this data is heavily skewed against McLaren. Just keep that in mind. But we can still use this data to look at like the cheaper drivers, right? Yeah, I think Bortoletto is going to be a massive differential this weekend. I think a lot of people are selling him also to afford the lineup they want. Would it take a -20 to get triple McLaren from Max and George, 3x in play? If you can do a -10 or for free get to like Max and Norris or Max and Piastri, I don't like the -20 that much for triple McLaren. I would prefer Max and Piastri and not do the -20. Like, do you really think, like, how much more are the McLarens going to score over Max Verstappen this weekend? Like, are we not just assuming that Max is going to be P3 at the minimum? That's why it's so difficult for me, because I don't have that problem. I'm the opposite, where I can just get to every team without taking a -10 hit. I've unironically, okay, I'm gonna toot my own horn a bit. I've played the last couple of weekends really well in terms of setting myself up for this weekend. Gabby Sager 5 plays penalty in the race. Yeah, that helps him. That helps him. For F1 fantasy purposes, that helps him. You want Gabby Bortoletto to start further back. Thoughts on Tsunoda for this weekend? I think Tsunoda is good. I think he's definitely a sleeper pick, but his price point of 11.2 million is quite difficult to slot in. But if you're in the market for a driver in that price category, I do think Tsunoda is a better pick than Behrman this weekend. If you have any one of like these three drivers, Albon, Tsunoda, Behrman, I think you go for Tsunoda. Any thoughts on Gasly? I'm tempted to get a -10 in order to replace it with Hadjar. I mean, the Alpines don't look great, but he's also starting P19, so I would not take a -10 for that. I would just keep him. I don't think either of the Alpines are must-sells by any means. I'm 0.1 short for Max Norris setup. That sucks. That sucks. I guess you're going, but I mean that solves your problem then. You don't have to think about it. You're going Max Piastri or Norris Piastri. Is it crazy to go Red Bull Mercedes? I mean, it wasn't. It was crazy last week, and look what happened. But I mean, if you're going Red Bull Mercedes, you're hoping for another double McLaren disqualification, like, or for the McLarens to drive into each other. Like, that's what you're hoping for, and if that doesn't happen, you are losing out to other people. Just know, like, if you go into the Red Bull Mercedes pick knowing that you're going to fall behind, if McLaren don't have a DNF, that's just what you have to consider, right? By the way, make sure to like the stream. We have like 150 people in here, and 27 people have liked the stream on YouTube. That is pretty extraordinarily bad. Let me do a little like the stream question mark poll. Yes, yes, please. There we go. Start poll. Lovely. Don't forget to like the stream on YouTube. It helps a lot. You're watching the stream for free, unless you're Sophie and donating money for no reason. I'm leaning towards the McLaren. I'm leaning towards the McLaren sauce. And then it's probably just Alonso. First thing I did joining the stream. You're a real one, Ronch. There we go. We're up to 52. I'll take it. McLaren down to Red Bull to get Max and Piastri. I don't think so. I think going without McLaren in Qatar seems like a bad idea, if I'm honest. Now, granted, if you go for it, what I just said, you go into it with the knowledge that unless McLaren have a like double DNF or double disqualification, you're going to lose out. Considering McLaren sauce, but minus 20 is a lot. Minus 20 is a lot. I would not do that. I would keep Max. Because this team is really good. Like Sainz, Hajar, like these are not bad midfield drivers either. 2.8 million in the bank, meaning that I have 2 free transfers and I'm quite flexible for the final race of the season as well. With if I want to go for Norris Piastri, I could even get like Max Verstappen in here by downgrading Sainz next week. If I want to go for like Norris Verstappen, I could go like Piastri and Sainz out for like a Colapinto plus Max if I want to. I just have a lot of options with this team for the final race of the season. I could really go for some like sleeper picks as well in the final race of the season. With 2.8 million in the bank, I could definitely like sell Hajar or Sainz to someone that I think is going to be a good differential. I could even stretch maybe to a Yuki Tsunoda or Alex Albon for the final race of the season. I mean, I have options. Bunch of pit lane starts, Hamilton and Gasly included. That is obviously worse for their potential for the sprint. They kind of need DNFs now to catch up to them. Is it worth going Piastri, Norris, McLaren and swapping Merc to V-Carb if I'm using the 3X? I'm assuming you are on a way lower budget because of this consideration. And I will say yes. The one time it's kind of worth it to go for a cheaper constructor is to make sure that you have 2 good drivers for the 3X. So if you're on a much lower budget this week, I don't think it's a bad idea at all to downgrade to the Mercedes constructor so you can afford 2 good premium drivers for the 3X, 2X. 3X on Norris or Piastri? I think I'll put it on Norris. What's the best limitless team? Slot in Russell into this, and then the final slot is Flex. It's Norris, Verstappen, Piastri, Russell, McLaren, Mercedes, and then the final slot is Flex. It could be Kimi Antonelli, it could be... you could take a bet on Lewis Hamilton since he's starting so far back. You could take a bet on Yuki Tsunoda. You could take a bet on Alonso. 3X on Max or Oscar. I think the popular pick this week will be to put the 3X or the 2X on a McLaren driver. I think putting it on Max Verstappen is definitely a differential pick. Yeah, there's not that many strategy options. That's true. If you could pick between Max and Oscar, which one would you go with? I'm pretty sure I'm just straight up picking Oscar. Like that is my decision this week. I'm going for Piastri Sainz over Verstappen Lawson. Like that's my decision this weekend. Is Alonso recommended? According to the simulations, yes. Alonso is the highest scoring midfield driver this week. Unless you count Tsunoda. I'm 60 points behind my mini league leader. Piastri 3x, Norris 2x as a differential. I mean, the 3x is differential enough if he's already used it. I think a -10 is okay this weekend to get the team you want. As long as you're not using the -10 to switch your cheap assets around, I think -10 is definitely worth it to set up a good 3x. -20 is where I draw the line. That's why I have like here on when I check my like, oh, you know what transfers I should be making, I always have a max transfer penalty set to -10. He's gonna use the 3x as well. Yeah, try and play it a bit differential then. I think Piastri on the 3x could cook. I don't think that many people are going for it. I'm not going for that. Alonso looks dangerous. DNF risk. What do you think? I mean, Alonso's always dangerous. I don't know. Like, I'm just picking Alonso, but I don't have to, I suppose. Maybe I should beat differential and not go Alonso. Maybe that's my decision. Because, like, actually, Alonso's burned me so many times. And Alonso's starting P4. He's going to drop 2 positions. So, he's going to be P6, which is 3 points. But he loses 2 positions for positions gained. So, he's going to get 1 point in the sprint. And then he's going to get, like, what, 8 points? At most. In the race. I'm down to go Alonso less. I can go Alonso less. Like. But who would I go for instead? Is it Ocon? Ocon's 15th. Is it not just Liam Lawson from 17th? Is Lawson also starting pit lane? Hamilton, Stroll, Gasly, and Colapinto start pit lane. Thank you, Lancy. I was literally just looking for this information. It's just in chat. You guys actually the GOAT. Actually just straight up the GOAT. What drivers can outscore Alonso? Ocon, Lawson, a lot of midfield drivers, yeah. So Hamilton, Stroll, Gasly, Colapinto from pit lane means Liam Lawson is lost on grid for P16. Limitless or no negative for today? Probably limitless. Ocon said he was struggling with pace and feel in post-sprint quali chats. Thank you, I'd not seen that. That's good information, Ryan. That's great information. Yeah, especially with that, it's probably Liam Lawson over Esteban Ocon. F1 is someone posted max damage floor from sprint quali. Yeah, but surely they can fix that, no? I wouldn't worry about Max's floor if I was on a Max Verstappen lineup. I'm just gonna go and turn the light off back there because it's messing up with my camera. It keeps unfocusing. Give me a second. Alright. So, I'm back. That's better for the lighting. Yeah, Liam Lawson got stuck in traffic. I remember that. So, SQ1, right? So I think there's more pace in the V carbs. So maybe Liam Lawson above. Like, do I pick Liam Lawson above Fernando Alonso? That's a tough one. Between Bortoleto, Hulkenberg, Ocon, and Stroll, who will do well? Maybe it's Bortoleto, actually, because Bortoleto has that 5-place grid penalty in the race. I don't mind a cheeky Bortoleto pick here. That could be a huge differential. What's your recommended B-tier driver? I'm trying to look at like what I'm doing instead of Alonso. After Alonso and Sainz. I mean, probably just Hadjar, but I already have Hadjar, so I'm trying to think of another one. Because, like, realistically, what's Fernando Alonso gonna do? Like, obviously, he's qualified P4, which amazing, right? Hallelujah. But he's just gonna drop 2 positions to P6 because Verstappen, and then either Tsunoda or Antonelli is gonna pass him. So he's gonna finish the sprint P6, which is good points for the championship. But that's 1 point in F1 Fantasy. One, literally, because he gets 3 points for P6, and then he lost 2 positions, so it's 1 point in F1 Fantasy. And then what? He's gonna get to Q3, get like P9, 2 points, and then drop down to P11 because Aston Martin messed up the strategy somehow. Hulk looks good. I'd rather pick Bortoleto than Hulkenberg, I think, just because of Bortoleto's grid penalty in the race tomorrow. If you have no choice but to keep Alonso, just keep Alonso. Like, Alonso's a great pick. I'm looking at, like, should I be differential? Like, that's what I'm doing. Bortoleto's back-to-back DNFs, though? Yeah. Do you think he'll triple back-to-back DNF? I don't think so. Is this high overtake or low overtake track? That is a really good question because I think because of the mandatory 2-stop, it's gonna be a low overtake track. Alonso's higher ceiling, sure, but he like actually needs to stay P4, and he's not gonna stay P4. I don't even like he's not climbing upwards. If you didn't have any chips, would you put... I think I'd put the 2x in Norris, still. I think Norris is taking Russell, and Norris in P2 is the same points as Piastri in P1 for the sprint. And then I think Norris is taking the win tomorrow. Everyone's going to pick Alonso this week. I'm definitely looking for a differential. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm doing. Since if I'm going for the Norris Verstappen build, I have to pick Alonso. But if I'm going Norris Piastri, I have money in the bank to go differential on this pick, which could be pretty huge. The best differential is Colapinto. The money. Put that in the like when you put your full team like that, it confuses my brain. I need to see it visually, so put that in the Discord channel. Link in the below in the YouTube description. Or the team submissions channel is open there, and we'll do team submissions in like 10 minutes. I think Bortoleto is gonna be an insane differential. No. Like, no one's gonna pick him. Thoughts on Russell? I think it would be cooler on Sunday, but I don't know if it'll be enough to beat Norris or Verstappen. I think Russell's a great option. Like, he's gonna be P3 somehow, like, no matter what happens, right? That's usually what happens with Russell. Bortoletto's an insane differential, and with the grid penalty, like, I don't think a lot of people are actually considering him. And with his back-to-back DNFs, like, no one wants him. It's a tough call, because, like, obviously everyone's going Alonso, but, like, if I actually want to climb rank, Alonso's not the pick. Is Behrman good today? Behrman is great always, but I just can't afford him with me upgrading my premium drivers. Like, Oliver Behrman is the one that has to go. I suppose, actually, what I could do, I hadn't even considered that. Yeah, I could actually sell Sainz and keep Behrman. That is also pretty differential. I think a lot of people are selling Behrman to afford Norris Piastri or Norris Verstappen. But obviously that is, you know, selling Sainz, which I don't know how good of an idea that is. Lando's DNFing, thank me later. I will not thank you because I'm 3xing Lando. How did Gabby do in Hungary Sandvorts? That's a good question. 24 points in Hungary. Nothing in Sandvort though. Hungary was his best race of the year. Driver of the day, P6. I think Norris is going to crash 2 1 of 3 times yesterday. Don't make me doubt in Norris now, man. I don't think Norris is doing that. I think Norris is fine. Should I remove Max? I feel like he always pulls through somehow. He does. I quite like the Bortoletto punt. I'm not gonna lie. The Bortoletto punt excites me. Gravel is super punishing here as well. Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know who that punishes the most, though. Can do the McLaren sauce, but need either Williams or V-Carb. Which to pick? I mean, if you can choose Williams, it's probably Williams. Thank you. I wish you luck too, Terminator. You think Kimi's gonna pass Alonso in sprints? I think Kimi or Tsunoda is passing Alonso in the sprint. I think Max plus 1 more is passing Alonso in the sprint. Just joined. What are we doing? Probably triple McLaren, and then discussing who to pick if we're not picking Alonso on the as the cheap driver of choice. Norris is pretty confident during his interviews. I'm super confident in Norris. I'm 3xing Norris this week. Tier list when? I should actually do the tier list now and then do the thing. Yeah, we'll pop the tier list up. Give me a second to set it up. Let me set it up. Alright. Tier list time. Tier list time. Just join. What are we doing? Tier list time. That's what we're doing. Oops, I just messed my entire thing up. There we go. I've done like that like 4 times. Why no Alonso? Okay, so before I actually do the tier list, let me explain the no Alonso because it is a good thing. Alonso starting P4. Do we think Alonso stays P4 in the sprint? I say no. I think Max Verstappen passes him, and I think either Tsunoda or Kimi Antonelli passes him. Right? So if my prediction there comes through, Alonso finishes the sprint in P6, which is a fantastic result points-wise in the like actual World Drivers' Championship, right? Well, in fantasy, he gets 3 points for P6, and then -2 points for 2 positions lost, meaning he gets a big 1-pointer in the sprint. Okay? And in addition to that, Alonso is going to be owned by literally everybody. So I'm pretty content with betting against Alonso this week. Because I don't think Alonso's going to score a lot of points, a lot of F1 fantasy points in the sprint. So I'm pretty content to bet against him, hope for an Alonso DNF, and then just shoot up the rank with like a Bortoleto instead. So that is why I'm like, listen, Alonso's a fantastic pick this weekend. I think he can get a really good like 15-point double-digit haul. But he's not going to score that many points in the sprint, and that's the reason why a lot of people are picking him. And in addition, like a lot of people just have him, right? Simulation puts him at 13 points. I think that's accurate. Honestly, I think that's accurate. But I think like 1 point in the sprint, and then he gets like 2 or 3 points for qualifying later today, and then he gets like 6 points, 7 points in the. I did not mean to do the meme, but like I think he gets around that amount of points in the race. Against Alonso in favor of literally anyone, right? But I think Gabriel Bortoleto is my favorite surprise pick. It's a track similar to Hungary, where he did really, really well early in the season. He's going to be very lowly owned because no one has him. He has a 2-place grid penalty for or a 5-place grid penalty for the race tomorrow. I think it's a crazy differential. I don't think I think it's going to be the opposite case, actually. I don't think there's going to be that many pit stops. Or no, that many overtakes, because everyone's going to be on the same, like, you're never going to see, like, tires fall off and, like, people be on different tire strategies. Because everyone's just forced to do, like, 20 laps, 20 laps, 10 laps, 20 laps, or whatever. Bortoletto's a 5-place grid penalty from last weekend, carried over. So Bortoletto's a 5-place grid penalty. Lawson, I think Lawson is a great pick. Like, Lawson is probably the second differential I would consider alongside Gabriel Bortoleto. Because Lawson probably had more pace in him. He said he got blocked in his final attempt in sprint quali. So I think Lawson has more pace in him. I think Lawson is also a great pick. Yeah, Bortoleto's a guaranteed price drop, but I don't care about money anymore. Like, I have the team I want. I literally don't care about Bortoleto dropping in price. It doesn't matter to me. Alright, so let's do the what's it called? The tier lists. That is not good. There we go. Here we go. Alright. Let's jumble them up. As always, S tier is must have. Like, S tier is if you don't have them, you're playing the game wrong. And I don't think there's an S tier driver. Velvet Thunder, welcome to the Twitch stream. Welcome, welcome. Start with Kimi, please. Sure. Team submissions done? No, we're doing team submissions after this. Where is Kimi Antonelli? You had to tell me to start with him when he's like at the back of this. Where is he? Is this him? There he is. Okay, Kimi Antonelli. I'm gonna hold my hands up and say I've severely underestimated Kimi Antonelli in the past like 6 races, right? Kimi Antonelli has been a fantastic pick for fantasy. I the people who have gone with Kimi Antonelli have had a great time. I've had a decent time anyway, but Kimi Antonelli has been really, really good, and I regret not considering him more. With that being said, though, what is it called? Like titanium? Yeah, titanium dioxide is banned in Qatar, so Kimi Antonelli is F tier. Yeah. Rangers hating on Kimi and Gasly. True. Yeah, so just so you know, titanium dioxide is banned in Qatar. So Kimi Antonelli is going to DNF. You heard it here first. Let's do the next one. Alex Albon. Alex Albon is a really difficult price point. 13 million. I think Tsunoda's better than him. Lower in price, right? Kimi Antonelli is better than him, and he's higher in price. I think Albon is just C tier. He's fine. But there are better picks for the price. Constructor rankings being done as well? No. I think they're pretty self-explanatory this week. We'll talk about Yuki Tsunoda. I think Yuki Tsunoda is a good pick this weekend. But I'm not going to put him any higher than B tier. Like, a B tier pick is a good pick. But, like, he's at a price point that's difficult to afford for a lot of people. He's definitely still a punt that you have to take. I think Yuki Tsunoda is fine. I think both the Alpines are C tier this week. They are starting from pit lane in the sprint, starting last. That can obviously lead to positions gained points if there are DNFs further up the grid. But the car is just abysmal, and Alpine is just given up for the season. I'm not excited about the prospect of owning either of them. That said, if you have to own Colapinto, it's fine, right? He's starting last. It's, you know, there are positions gained that you could get, and he could definitely end up on like a 10-pointer. Ollie Barron is just straight up B tier. I think Haas, I'll do Ocon as well. Ocon is also B tier. Ollie Barron can always gain a lot of positions and get a lot of points, but he's quite a bit too expensive now to be able to afford the optimal 3x setup and the optimal double premium driver setup, right? And in addition to that, none of the Haas really look that fast. I think both the V-Carbs, Williams, and the Kick look better than the Haas this weekend. Yeah, the Haas, Holly is definitely correct with his. Haas car is not liking this track at all. That said, I don't think they're bad picks by any means. But I don't think they're not my midfield drivers of choice for this week. I'm heavily considering putting Sainz in S tier. Sainz has been so good and so consistent lately, and like actually getting points. Let's just quickly. Can we just look at this? Look at this man, real quick. Like, this is really, really good consistency from him. And remember, like, in this race, he would have scored a lot of points. Like, this is -3 points with a DNF in there. From Azerbaijan onwards, this man has been on fire. And I think there's a reason why he, like, how he's only 65% and not owned by more people is a crime to me. I think Sainz is S tier. I think Sainz is S tier. I think there's no reason to not have Sainz unless you can't afford him. Like, if I could only pick one midfield driver in my team, it would be Sainz. Like, I wouldn't be sitting here discussing Alonso or Bortoletto or Liam Lawson or Hadjar. Like, just pick Sainz. Sainz is the best midfield driver for the price, and it's not even really close. I think Sainz is like the only must-have driver on the grid right now. Yeah, even starting from the pit lane, I think both Ferraris are just F tier this week. The car does not look good on this track at all. The car's just not fast. They're just P4 in the championship. It's really sad as a Ferrari fan, but like, yeah, don't pick the Ferraris this week. George Russell is A tier. going under the radar in all of these 3x talks. He could definitely pop up with a P2, keep his position in the sprint, and then get a podium, and then, you know, be the third highest scoring driver like he always is. I think, yeah, if you can't afford Piastri Norris or Norris Verstappen or Verstappen Piastri, you're in a position where you have to have Russell in there. It's fine. Like, just do it with Russell, man. Like, Russell's totally fine. Russell's just a cheat code for F1 Fantasy, and has been for like the past 10 races. Mr. Consistent, yep. Let's see. I think Lance Stroll is B tier. There's a pace in that Aston Martin car. He's starting from the pit lane, but it is Lance Stroll. You know what I mean? Yeah. Lance Stroll is just B tier. Now, this is the question. Where do we put these three? Don't take the full McLaren team. I did it twice earlier and it ruined my ranking. We'll see what happens. I don't know if I want to put these guys A tier or S tier. I don't think they're S tier. I'm gonna put all of these premiums in A. With George Russell. And then, in addition to that, I think there's a lot of just solid A-tier midfield drivers this week. And, like, without any particular order, like, all of these just go in here. There you go. There's just a lot of A-tier drivers this week. Like, Alonso is an A-tier driver. Like, even though I'm considering going without him, like, he's gonna get, like, 13 points. Okay, he's not an A-tier driver because he's not, you know, he's good. Says I don't think that. Yeah, they're like, everyone's going for them, but they're not must-have, right? Russell S? No. I think all of these midfield drivers here are A-tier. Gasly to Alonso worth a -10? No, definitely not. Definitely not. Keep Gasly. Gasly's fine. Definitely not worth it. Alonso scares me. He feels like a scam. I mean, I get it. I'm also terrified. That's why I'm like considering going without Alonso. Should we be considering avoiding the rookies because of the heat? I don't think the heat is going to be an issue. Like, it's not that hot. It's fine. I think it's more like they're just going to push the entire time, which is going to be difficult. So I definitely, like, be considerate with it, but I think it's fine. In 2023, Qatar was in October instead of like end of November, which is like, so I'm not that worried about it. Oh, why Antonelli F? Because titanium dioxide is banned in Qatar. Titanium dioxide is banned in Qatar, which means that Kimi Antonelli would have a bad performance. Okay, no, but okay, for real, Kimi Antonelli is just B tier this week. But because of, you know, if we wanna listen to the food additive stuff, no correlation at all. But you know, yeah, Kimi Antonelli is B tier. I don't think the tier list has helped the decision making. Lol. No, it really hasn't. It hasn't at all. Alright, let's do, I'm gonna close the team submissions. As always, team submissions are done over on Discord. And as always, I don't think I'll be able to get to all the team submissions, so don't be mad if I skip yours. Just, I'd rather talk about 5 teams and discuss them in depth than talk about every team for 30 seconds. What is the Kimi meme? The Kimi meme is that Kimi Antonelli performs well in countries where the food additive titanium dioxide is allowed. Because Kimi Antonelli was really bad in the entire European circuits in the middle of the season, and titanium dioxide is banned in Europe. And then in all of these races where that food additive is allowed, he's been cooking, and now it's banned again in Qatar. So, you know. Gas into Portugal for a -10 if Triple X McLaren? No. Keep Gasly. Gasly's fine. 20 mil constructors, please. Williams, and then V-Carb, I guess. This is great. There's so many options the way fantasy should be. I 100% agree. Like, it's really, really good. The game is great this year. I mean, obviously we complain about, like, you know, the disqualification being bad and stuff like that, but the game's great. The game's been so good this year for how diverse the teams are. And obviously it sucks that, like, people who went for McLaren last week got punished so hard. But yeah. Let me just permissions. You can no longer send messages in the team submissions channel. They're closed. And always, again, in addition, as always, we always start with the priority team submissions. So, if you're a subscriber on Twitch or a member on YouTube, I look at your team first. So, we have Lara first. 122.5 million budget for Team 1. That's a lower budget, taking a -10 point hit to get in Piastri and Norris. And change to a low budget team. Could also stick with Max and have my 3x on Piastri and 2x on Max and not Norris to avoid the -10 for Team 2. What do we think? So this is a great opportunity to talk about cheap constructors, right? I think cheap constructors, when you're using the 3x, is worth it. Which one is the better one? I don't know. It's a toss-up. I think Aston Martin is a decent shout. Kick Sauber is a decent shout. I mean, anyone but Alpine is a decent shout. And I don't think I would go for Haas this week either. I'd go for any of the other four. Yeah, like this team, when you can't afford a premium constructor to fit the 3x in, you go for this, right? So I think this is a great, plan. You even get Tsunoda in there. For a -10, I think it's worth it. And then just be ready, like next week, your transfer is 100% sell one of these two and upgrade this, right? That is your transfer for next week. But when you use the 3x, it's definitely worth it to go down to a cheaper constructor so you can afford Piastri Norris or Piastri Max or Max Norris, like whichever lineup you want. When you're using the 3x chip, you should like prioritize that, right? Diverse, there's recency bias. 2/3 of the season, everyone had the same team for budget building, but yes, overall a fun fantasy season. I agree somewhat. I do, especially like that early, like up to the midpoint of the season. I think it definitely opened up more from the second half. Budget building definitely constricted. I think one thing that's unfortunate, I think, for the game is that budget builders didn't get punished like at all throughout the season. Apart from like towards the end, like I know Fraser got kind of punished because he had a higher budget, but usually if you followed what the budget builders said, you kind of just got lucky and those drivers didn't DNF. I mean, the best example of this is like everyone had Alex Albon in their team, and then the weekend where Albon didn't look great for budget, everyone sold him, and then Albon went on a 3 DNF in a row run after everyone had sold him because of for budget reasons. People only sold Albon not because he was bad in the game, just because he didn't look like he was going to rise in price anymore. So people sold Alex Albon and then they DNF 3 times in a row. So like budget builders did not get punished. And I think if budget builders had gotten punished, I think the season would have been like better overall, and I think there would have been way more like different options in the midpoint of the season. But yes, definitely a bit of recency bias. But considering how like other ends of the seasons have been in this game, it's a refreshing end of the season. Limitless team is just Piastri, Norris, Verstappen, Russell, McLaren, Mercedes, and then the final driver is Flex. All right. Yeah, like this is a good limitless team. There you go. Modric. Oh my god, what am I doing? Can you use autopilot and finally fix the same weekend? No, 1 chip per weekend. And if you have 3 chips left and you can only use 2 of them, skip autopilot. Autopilot is the worst chip in the game by quite some distance. Original team is with Max, so this is his original team. It's a lower budget team with Max and Antonelli. Are we using the 3x here? Selling Max for more flexibility, 3 changes available, chip still available, wildcard and limitless. Okay, so you have wildcard for this week. Definitely with limitless is next week, I think. This doesn't work, Modric, by the way. If you change to lock-in budget and then limitless, the team reverts back. It's gonna go back to what it was here. If you limitless, this is the team. It doesn't matter that you change things beforehand. So if you want a limitless, you pop limitless. Then these changes won't matter. But if you want a limitless this week, it's fine. Like I think limitless is good this week, even. So I would probably just pop the limitless. Though I think limitless is also decent in the final race of the season. So Calandori transfers to using my 3x. I am playing defensive to prevent my rival, who's also 3xing. What do we do here? Last one is a -10. Bunch of options. We're basically all in the same category. I think if you're playing defensive, I don't think you're going for the -10, even though, like, you know, obviously it's tempting to go for the triple McLaren. I think the way to play defensive for you is to have Norris or Piastri, right? I'm not a massive fan of Tsunoda, as you know. I don't actually know which one I prefer here. I think I prefer this one, but I prefer Bortoleto over Ocon. If you can afford that, yeah, you can, because you're buying Ocon here, so you can just buy Bortoleto. I prefer Bortoleto to Ocon, so I prefer this team with Bortoleto, but that's because I'm expecting Norris to win the race tomorrow. So if you're not a Norris believer, then, you know, maybe go for this or this. But I prefer this one with Bortoleto in there. Alright, let's go to the non-priority team submissions and scroll up to where we started today. Here we go. Manto! Current team, Russell, Verstappen, Behrman. Can't tell how many transfers we have here. A lot of money in the bank. Don't know what to do. I mean, you're literally in the exact same boat as me. Only you have slightly higher budget, yeah? I mean, this is... Like, whether you have 3x or not, I think all of these teams are good. This team is kind of cracked, actually. Russell, Piastri, Antonelli. If you don't have the 3x, I think this team is insane. But I know it's Gasly. You're keeping Gasly, so maybe not. I think... I mean, either of these two are good. You're buying Alonso in all 3. You know what I think about that. Essentially, this all boils down to Norris, Piastri, Verstappen. Who do you go for? I think it's going to be super close. I think Piastri and Norris are going to be heavily owned this week. A lot of people are switching to them. Are you playing differential? I think this what I'm saying now goes for literally every team that's going to be in this team submission. What are you playing for? Are you chasing rank? Are you defending rank? Are you in a mini league where you're chasing someone? Are you defending? Like, what are you what is your goal with your team apart from just getting the most points? Because the answer is no one knows, right? My thoughts on Yuki is Yuki's fine. Like, Yuki's a good pick, but he's difficult to own because of his price. And I'm not expecting miracles. I'm expecting like a 15-pointer, which is good, but like not crazy. My thoughts on like Alonso, like the way you're building your teams here, you need Alonso, right? Because of the budget. I think, I can't say like which one of these is the best. I think if you're not using the 3x, I would go for this. I'm not even joking. Like, this team is kind of cracked. Piastri, Russell, Antonelli. I think Piastri's gonna cook this weekend. If you have a feeling that Piastri's gonna cook this weekend, like, pop everything on Piastri, man. Go all in. First one is current. Antonelli in there. And you can... So, I don't like going McLaren less with Constructor. Especially not when you're 3xing with double McLaren. This is not worth it, right? Because you need McLaren to pop off. And if McLaren pop off, you still lose out because you don't have the Constructor here. I much prefer this. Much prefer this. Or much prefer this as well. So, either of these two, this is counterintuitive to me. If you're picking both Norris and Piastri, you need to have the McLaren Constructor as well. Can he not go Max, Norris, Sainz, Hadjar, Bortoletto? Probably. Aston or Kick? Random question. I'd go for Aston. So, in terms of this team that James put out here, I think this is just a no-go, right? Either of these work. I prefer probably this one because I don't like the double Alpine, but that's just me. Ilio! Thank you so much for the super chat, man. Hello, need 100 points differential. Verstappen, Norris, Red Bull, McLaren, or 3x McLaren, Merc. Which 3x? I think I need a bit more information, Ilio. So, you're doing Max Verstappen, Norris, Red Bull, McLaren, or McLaren, Mercedes. So you need a differential here. I think, looking at differential, I think going without Alonso is a big differential. I think a lot of people will have Alonso this week. So going for something like a Bortoletto is huge. I think going without Mercedes is a big differential also. So going Max Verstappen, Norris, Red Bull, McLaren is also huge. And then just like completely betting against Mercedes, hoping like Antonelli crashes or something like that. I think that's what you're looking for. Lando, Piastri, McLaren, Merc. Yeah, Lando, Piastri, McLaren, Merc. I don't think is that big of a differential. I think Verstappen, Norris, Red Bull, McLaren is way bigger of a differential. Like going against Mercedes is a huge differential. The Max Oscar team requires -10, still worth it. It depends. What is the -10 you're actually taking here? First one's current. Oh yeah, because you're taking Norris out. Gotcha. I suppose that I kind of prefer this one because you're kind of just switching the -10. You're doing a -10 to get like Colapinto up to Lawson, technically, or Gasly to Lawson, if we're considering Norris, Russell equal to Verstappen, Piastri. Yeah. So if we say like Norris and Russell is equal to Verstappen Piastri, which I think is fair to say, I think you're essentially just doing the -10 to upgrade Gasly to Lawson. I don't think that's worth it. So then I think this one's better. Yeah, I hope that helped, Ilya. Thank you so much for the super chat. I definitely think like the biggest differential this week is to go without the Mercedes constructor, and then going without Alonso or Sainz as well. Alonso and Sainz are very highly owned. I think both of them are going to be very, very, very popular. All right, we have a couple left here. I cannot get to all of them. If I have time, I'll go back to this. I know we have like 5 remaining, but I have to make my transfers because we have things to do here. So, I think I have decided on the triple McLaren build. But before we do my transfers, it's of course time for tip of the week. Make sure to like the stream, guys, if you're on YouTube. We have about 200 people in here, 100 likes. That's good, but half of you haven't liked the stream yet. So I need you all to like the stream. We only have 2 tips of the week remaining. Aren't I the best? Drop my like. Thank you, Rye. Welcome to the YouTube side. I see you lurking on Twitch. And 12 of us on Twitch. Shout out to the Twitch people. What do you think of McLaren, Mercedes, Piastri, Verstappen, Alonso, Sainz, Hajar? It's like the meta team. It's great. You're gonna do great. You're gonna do great, buddy. Is it worth downgrading McLaren to Red Bull to get Piastri, Russell, and Antonelli? No. I think Antonelli's the first one to go out of that equation. I don't think selling McLaren this weekend is worth it. Get your tip of the week predictions in. What is tip of the week? Use your 3x if you have it. Yeah, but that's not a tip of the week. Like everyone's using 3x. Pop the 3x is not like a tip of the week. Everyone's popping 3x. Holly, you're actually not entirely wrong. But it's not just being differential. It's play to your position. What does that mean? It is if you're chasing someone, be differential, right? That's what that means. Like, what I discussed earlier in the stream is if you are chasing someone, you have to start picking differential. Like, we have 2 races left of the season. If it's not now, when? You're trying to win something here. Are you trying to hit top 1k? That's what I'm trying to do. Okay, well, I'm playing to my position. I'm playing the 3x. I'm going all in on McLaren. And I'm going without Alonso and hoping Alonso DNFs because everyone's going to own him, right? That's what I'm doing. Play to your position. Are you top 500 in the world and you have like a guy in your mini league chasing you and you want to defend against him? Play safe. Try and figure out what he's doing and do the same thing as him. Go big or go home, kind of. But if you're already home, don't go big. Like, don't go up even, like uprooting your entire team if you're already in a good position. Who would you pick, Norris or Piastri with Russell? I would pick Norris, but I think Norris. That's because I think Norris is gonna win. So if you don't believe in Norris, then like don't go for it, right? I'm gonna be so pissed if this Bortoleto punt doesn't work out, by the way. What's safe in this case? I think the safest play is to not go for triple McLaren. I think the safest play is like Max Verstappen plus Norris, Max plus Norris or Max plus Piastri, and be like sticking with like Alonso because everyone has him. Who's starting in pit lane again? It's both Alpines, Hamilton, and Stroll. Why not Lawson over Bortoleto? It's close, but Bortoleto, because he was really good in Hungary, which is a similar track to this, and he has a 5-place grid penalty tomorrow, which I, in general, really, really like for F1 Fantasy. You play your free hit in FPL? Yep. Oh, that deadline is done, right? Oh, I should have looked at that. Ah, it's fine. I hope there wasn't like any team news that, like early team news that screwed me up. I completely forgot about that. Whoops. But yes, I did play my free hit in FPL. Verstappen, Norris, Piastri for 2x. Anyone? Oh, no team news? Cool. No team leaks. I went for Foden. I was considering going for Doku. I'm hoping it works out. 3x on Verstappen or Piastri? I think the McLarens are better this weekend, but Max Verstappen is Max Verstappen, right? I might go. I think of doing the Bortoleto punt. I like the Bortoleto punt too much to not do it. Like, no one's gonna have him. It's gonna be glorious. I think I'll do the Bortoleto punt. Will the price drop like actually do anything for me negatively? Norris and Piastri are both dropping in price as well, right? And then Bortoleto drops in price. I'm trying to just consider if this does anything for me. I mean, it kind of like... I can't get Kimi or Albon or Yuki next week, but like that was not the plan anyway. Or maybe not Behrman. Can I go for Norris Verstappen next week? I think I can even with that, right? Max increases his price to 30.1. Maybe. But maybe I can't anyway, right? With this lineup. So maybe it's not the end of the world. Decent time to use autopilot with Max and Piastri? Definitely. If you've already used your 3x, autopilot is great this weekend. It's really unknown between Norris, Piastri, and Verstappen who's going to score the highest, so autopilot is really good this weekend. Like, actually, no joke, it's probably one of the best weekends to use autopilot all year. I think this is my team, though. Random, do you watch F2? I try to, but like I just don't have time to watch F2 a lot of the time. But I do follow it, especially because Dino Beganovic races. But the thing is, Holly, like, I don't care about Bortoleto budget. Like, I don't mind Bortoleto going down at all. I mean, it limits me slightly, but I don't think like going Norris and Piastri stops me from going Norris plus Verstappen in the final race anyway. I still think I want to go for Bortoleto here. Because like if I go for Alonso here, I think I'm still kind of cooked. I guess I'm not. I could go like Sainz down to Colapinto. Am I stuck with Bortoleto for the final race? I don't think so. I'm too deep in the Bortoleto trench to not go for it now. What about Stroll pit lane starts? I prefer Bortoleto and I prefer to go for Lawson or Bortoleto there. Options are triple McLaren with double Alpine and Alonso, or Verstappen Piastri with Lawson, Hadjar, Colapinto, Alonso. Are you taking a -10 for either of them? If so, go for the one you don't take a hit for. The music is super loud. Alright. Good morning from Florida, my friend. Late for stream and going crazy with my triple McLaren lineup. I think I'm going triple McLaren as well. No -10 for either. I mean, Verstappen Piastri is fine, right? You're basically like saying Gasly or like Gasly plus Norris or Verstappen plus Hadjar. It's a toss-up, man. I literally could not tell you. I'd go for the Norris lineup, but just because I'm Norris pilled. I think Norris is gonna win it. You're welcome for the save. Would you rather pick Alonso over Hadjar? I don't think so. Yeah, I think this is my team. I think I've decided. The game isn't allowing me to change the 3x driver. It is. You just need to like continue. Decision made. Alright, let's just quickly make a change here. Do I need to change anything here even? Like, I can't afford anything on this freaking team. Alright. This is my team. I have decided. We're going for the Bortoleto punt. The differential. Is there a top choice for the 5th drive for Limitless? No, it's completely flex. Like, you could even go for Alonso in there. I'm not even joking. But it's probably like Antonelli. F1 Predict. Yeah, we did that at the start of the stream. You can scroll back and look at it if you want to see my picks. We did like the first 10 minutes. I'm not going to forget the secret team. F1 Fantasy. Secret team. Hulk or Lawson? I prefer Lawson slightly. Let me just quickly log in. I do think, okay, actually, for all of you on Limitless, I just thought about something. I think a lot of people, I did say you should go McLaren Mercedes on Limitless. I think going McLaren Red Bull Racing instead is a big differential, actually, and you should probably do that on Limitless. I think going for Red Bull over Mercedes is a big differential. Is that crazy? Remember me, the guy that used no negative in Las Vegas? Well, I jumped from top 7k to top 3k. Massive, dude. Massive. You saved me last week? Yeah, I saw that. 14th global is crazy. Chasing first, 142 million, 3 transfers. Norris, Piastri, Ocon, Sainz, Gasly, carry transfers, or Piastri, Russell. Both with McLaren and Mercedes. I think Norris, Piastri is the way to go, man. It depends on you if you have 3x or not, actually. Piastri, Russell, Antonelli is kind of crazy. Give time to check lost team subs? Maybe. I'm going to take some quick questions from chat first. Good morning from Chile. Good morning, good morning. Possible tier B selection. Behrman plus Hydra plus Science. Do you like it? Yeah. I think maybe you go without Behrman for this one. But it's, I mean, it's close. I think Alonso is definitely going to be the most popular this week. I need to tweet this. I need to tweet this team out. I'm sorry for the Discord notification, by the way. If all of you are checking Discord right now, don't, because it was me. I don't even know where I got the ping from. Alright, so yeah, I think the Bortoleto pick is such a differential. I really hope it works out. It's probably one of my most off picks of the year in terms of I trust you with the triple McLaren. Let's make it. There we go. Best of luck, guys. Yeah, best of luck. If you were trying to defend your spot in Axel Oman's league and your closest rival happened to be an F1 fantasy YouTuber, would you really choose to play it safe by picking the same team as them? I feel like this is a very, very targeted question, huh? Is this the case? I haven't looked at the Axel Oman league in some time. Private leagues. Axel versus the world. I am second. Is this you? It is you. Yeah, you should pick the same team as me. That's really funny. That's really funny. You're gonna win it, dude. I mean, you're 100 points ahead of me. It's not even close. I don't stand a chance. Unless you have the 3, unless you don't have the 3x. Hajar and Colapinto or Gasly and Lawson? Gasly and Lawson, I think. Still super struck for the lost Beecher driver. Already got signs and also considering Hulk because he looks strong in quality but not sure. I think you should consider Bortoleto. I'm not even joking. He has a 5-place grid penalty in the race tomorrow. He's going super overlooked. I know he just came off of like a double disqualification, but or double DNF, but I don't think he's gonna make that a triple. Elite leading question that. Yeah, that's one of my favorite questions of the entire year. I'm not even joking. That's such a funny question. But the answer is yes. If you want to win that league, you should do the same thing as me. But unless you have the 3x, you might struggle. Would you minus 10, Penguin over on Twitch, would you minus 10 to get Red Bull and go differential? It depends, like, again, tip of the week. Play your position. Why do you want to be... Oh, last hope of recovering the McLaren disqualification? Maybe that's the play. If you think that's going to be the thing that pushes you, sure, like, double Mercedes DNF. I wouldn't do it for McLaren. I would do it for Mercedes. Let me make that totally clear. Totally think creative for this Gabby differential love. Yeah, you definitely pushed me to it. I'd considered it, but I definitely more strongly considered it when you brought it up. If you could only go with one, would you go with Bortoleto or Hajar? Probably Hajar. Sorry, Holly. Like, Bortoleto is definitely my third pick. And I think Bortoleto versus Lawson is really close, also. 3x locked in. Verstappen, Russell, Behrman, 2. Norris, Piastri, Bortoletto. There we go. Betting against Alonso. This. Betting against Alonso in a week where I expect him to be owned by the majority. Bortoletto was strong in Hungary. No, that's too many. I was just gonna say Leto will be a huge differential this week. Triple McLaren, don't let me down. ... Alright, make sure, if you're not following me already, there you go, posted. I'm gonna drop that in both chats. Make sure to go and like or interact with it, or follow me on Twitter if you haven't already. And we're gonna take final questions from chat. If you like Gabby more than Alonso, we're going for Sauber over Aston. Makes sense. Yeah, sure. But like I'm going for Bortoletto mostly because I think it's such a massive differential over Alonso. Like Aston Martin is going to be such a huge differential anyway that like it's potato, right? You have your 3x, you're at 128, Rivals 130, and you have a 41-point lead. Should you use your 3x with Piastri, Antonelli with McLaren, Mercedes? That's the best I can really do. Probably, but you could also consider selling Mercedes to go down a constructor to go for like Piastri plus Norris, and then switch it back next week. Would go for VCarb for cheap construction personally? I think VCarb is the one I would go for as well, yes. I'm 56 points ahead of my team trying to defend his limitless this week. What can you do? Pray. I think Norris will win the race and not get driver of the day. That's what I think. Totally valid, Mike. I 100% get that. But I'm taking the plunge, baby. The papaya plunge. Nine minutes to the deadline. Don't miss it. It's an important one. I'm staying live watching the sprint, by the way, over on Twitch. So if you haven't joined me on Twitch, make sure you do so. Pop over. Give the Twitch stream a follow. 3x Piastri or Max. It's a 33% decision. I literally could not decide between anything. Like I'd end up going for Norris. I think Piastri is definitely a viable 3xer. I think Max Verstappen is a fantastic 3xer. It's gut feeling today. Wouldn't it be funny to get another McLaren disqualification? Not really. Not today. What would you do? On what? I can't see if you've posted another comment. Oh, here we go. Russell plus Sainz versus Lawson plus Piastri. I think Lawson plus Piastri. What's the best limitless lineup? It is Norris, Piastri, Verstappen, Russell. The fifth driver is flex. You could go for Lewis Hamilton if you think he's going to get overtakes and positions gain in the sprint. I think Kimi Antonelli is probably the best pick, though. And then you go for McLaren. And then it's either Mercedes or Red Bull Racing. I think the Red Bull Racing pick is actually better than Mercedes just because everyone that's not on Limitless has Mercedes. And when you're limitlessing this late in the season, you need to try and find differentials. And I think Red Bull Racing is a fantastic differential over Mercedes on Limitless. So I would go for Red Bull Racing on the Limitless. X Max Piastri, Lando, or Russell. Ugh, I couldn't tell you. I think it's literally equal. But I would say Lando Russell because I think Lando will win the race tomorrow. But that's I can't base that on anything other than vibes. And I think he's in great form. And I think people are always underestimating him slightly. Doubt in your life, Tsunoda, Alonso, Gasly, or Ocon, Sainz, Gasly. Tsunoda, Alonso, Gasly, or Ocon, Sainz, Gasly. I think Tsunoda, Alonso, Gasly is better. Elio, thank you so much for the membership. Welcome, welcome. That's greatly appreciated. The GOAT. The GOAT. Why is Norris so low in the Sims? I don't think he's that low. Which 3X, Piastri or Max Verstappen? If gun to my head, pick one, I would go for Piastri. Max Verstappen has been complaining slightly about the car. He is further behind. But then again, like, Max can always pop up. And we've seen him time and time again this season, especially in the later half of the season, pop up with these results. But gun to my head, I would pick either of the McLaren boys, which is why I've sold Max Verstappen to. Like, I could have gone for Norris plus Max, but I went for Norris plus Piastri. So I'm backing the McLaren boys to 1-2 both races this weekend. 4 minutes. I have all three in my team, Norris, Piastri, and Max. Which one for 2X? That's crazy. I say Norris, but that's because I'm going for Norris, right? So if you don't believe in Norris, then don't go for Norris. Go for someone else. Like, I can't stress that enough. Between those three, it's mostly vibes. Can't afford Verstappen and Piastri. Should I bring on Tsunoda or go for a cheaper driver? I mean, if you need to sell Tsunoda to afford someone else, then to afford Verstappen and Piastri, then yes. But like, I think Tsunoda is a great option. Is there a watch along? Yes, I will be watching the sprint over on Twitch. Was you 3x at the DRS driver? Can you change? Yes, you can. It's when you click continue. I'm not gonna do it now because I don't want to mess it up. What's your budget cap? 140.6. Keep Ocon to bring in Colapinto or swap Ocon out for Hulk? Keep Ocon to bring in Colapinto or swap Ocon for Hulk? I don't really get the question. Like, Ocon to Hulk is a decent switch. Really, do you need to get Twitch at some point? I think you can. I don't think you need to get Twitch. You can just click the link and watch. But you can't comment unless you make an account, obviously. Got it. Okay. 2 minutes. Yeah, don't bring in Colapinto. I think Colapinto's fine to hold if you have him, but Colapinto's not someone I would buy this week. Even though he's starting P20. I mean, he's starting pit lane also, so. Alright, I should definitely set up the... Again, if you haven't interacted with it, pop on over there, give that a like. Let me open F1 TV so I'm ready for the watch along. One minute to the deadline. Thank you so much for the deadline stream, guys. Deadline stream, the final one of the season. I can't believe we've made it through this year. Yeah, we have one deadline stream left of the season. Good luck, everyone. Good luck, everyone, indeed. I'm hoping there are no disqualifications for everyone's sanity this week. Deadline stream back next week, same time, literally the exact same time as this week. And it will be the final one of the season. And with that, we will have had a deadline stream for every race of the season. 2 exceptions in Australia and Mexico, where I had a stream still, but it was earlier. But I'll say, although the videos have not been as consistent as I wanted it to this year, especially for the second half, but the streams have been very consistent this year, and I haven't missed a single weekend. So see you all next week if you're on YouTube. If you want to watch the sprint with me, pop on over to the Twitch channel, link in the description. I do this every week, and the reason for that is because YouTube doesn't like it when people leave your stream, and I understand that you want to go and watch the sprints with family, friends, or just by yourself. So whereas on Twitch it's more they just want you to be live all the time, so it's algorithm based. That's why I'm doing it this way, and it's also easiest for me. So pop on over to Twitch if you want to watch the sprint with me. Booting it up right now. Thank you so much, YouTube. I'll see you next week. Goodbye. Twitch, don't go anywhere. Where's YouTube actually? Why can I not find it? This is awkward. There we go. End stream. Boom.